it.
Made it.
You just got into Denver, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Came here straight from the airport.
Wow, dude, I'm the first stop. I'm honored. Appreciate that.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. How many times have you played in Denver?
4 times. If you count Red Rocks as Denver.
Yeah. I still haven't seen a live set, which is stupid. But tomorrow, I'm going to try and make it out.
Nice.
It's my girlfriend and my 5-year anniversary, and I talked her into coming to your show.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It wasn't hard. She loves you. So,
awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a good time. You're a Florida man.
Florida, yeah.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, born in Jacksonville.
Nice.
Currently live in Tampa.
Okay, sweet. Been to Tampa a few times. I love visiting Florida. I would never want to live there, but I love visiting. It's a cool place.
That's a little bit how I feel about Denver.
Really?
Yeah, it's just I'm more of a I like the heat. I like
fair.
the sun.
Yeah.
Even like it rains a lot there too, but
Makes sense.
we don't really have a winter. Like that's why I like coming here. Is I can get a little bit of the winter. I can get the mountains and everything. But I don't know if I could do that year round. I love Florida too much.
Fair. That's fair. Have you ever seen the TV show Florida Man?
I think actually no, it's not the one I'm thinking of.
But hilarious.
It's on HBO though, right?
It may be on Netflix, maybe. So basically, it's just
I've
like
never seen the thumbnail.
It's hilarious. It's literally just like the craziest stories you can think of unbelievable tales of people who live in Florida and locals. And just reenactments of the dumbest things you could possibly imagine. Like this guy was like high on meth. He was like a meth head, and he like got lost in the swamps and got his arm bitten off and survived for 3 days because he was like
I'm guessing by an alligator or something.
Yeah, he got like ripped off by an alligator, and then somebody found him. And the craziest one, I think it was the first episode, it was like this guy who was like really desperate for money, and he wanted to like save up like $1,000 so he could follow Bass Nectar on his tour. Like this is like forever ago. Yeah, before, and he ended up finding a Craigslist ad, and some guy was going to pay him like a couple $1,000s to like cut off his like foot and eat it or something weird like that. And so he like went through with it. And then they like last
like Saw.
Yeah, it's the craziest stories, dude. It's what Florida people are insane.
Yeah, no, that doesn't seem very far off. Like everywhere, a lot of the places I go, especially I went to college for a year not in Florida. I went to Arizona. Anytime I told someone I was from Florida, the first thing I got asked about was either Disney World or alligators or one or the other.
Yeah,
that's just
or sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks
a little bit less because like you can get those in California and stuff
True.
like that and up north.
Yeah, you have to be closer to the Gulf, right? Or whatever.
They like the cold water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another thing about living in Florida. You have to learn about sharks every now and then because like even in elementary school they taught us how to like notice that there's like shark signs at the beach, or like if we ran into an alligator, what to do. Like they taught us in like 4th grade. They gave us
That's hilarious.
They gave us all the info, and I'm like, no one else learned this in school? Just me?
I guess like depending on where you live, you learn different skills in elementary school. Ours was tornadoes because I'm from the Midwest in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yours was sharks.
More so alligators and hurricanes. Hurricanes were a big one, but we were. I mean, when I was in elementary school, we were living through a couple hurricanes every summer anyway. So it wasn't. We were learning on the job.
Yeah. What is the best thing to do in the situation of a hurricane? I don't even know.
Evacuate, depending on how big it is. If you ride it out, I've gotten lucky a couple times where my power didn't go out. But like the ones a couple years ago, like Milton was a bad one.
Yeah.
And then my mom still lives in Jacksonville, so anytime a bad hurricane comes, I just go to her house. But when I was a kid, before like all the like TVs and phones and everything, like you had a little crank radio that you'd listen to because the power went out more often than not. And a couple times we had to like put a mattress in the hallway and like sleep because there's tornado warnings all the time.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but as a family, you bond a little bit over. You have fun. Sure. You don't think anything bad's gonna happen, and nothing usually does.
Right.
It felt a little too normal sometimes.
Sure. No, I relate to that.
You learn stuff.
Yeah. I've spent many times in the basement with my family with flashlights. The tornadoes coming. My hometown, Van Wert, Ohio, is like in the middle of freaking nowhere. It got hit by like an F4, and we watched it happen from my backyard. Wow. It was insane. It's just like it doesn't even look like a tornado when it's that big. It's it just looks like the whole sky is just ripping up the ground.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Also really cool to watch.
That was one of the cool things about when the hurricanes did hit it. If you were in like the eye of it, you could go outside to hang out. It was like sunny.
Yeah.
And then like 20 minutes later, the rain and wind came back.
Yeah.
But it was eerie, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a weird way.
Yeah. Mother Nature wins almost all the time.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, dude, thanks for joining the pod. We could keep talking about weather, but we could, or we could talk about some nerdy Ableton stuff. Actually, Stash, Nathan, when he was here, and Tyler, your manager, I was asking him, I was like, who do you think would be good to be on the podcast? He was like a real Ableton nerd, and your name came up. So I was like, yeah, let's go.
I'm surprised my name came up. He's more of a nerd than I am for sure. But I've done my digging into it.
Nice.
I'm pretty, compared to him, I feel like I'm pretty new on Ableton.
How long have you been using Live?
Since 2020, 2021. I got started in Reason.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Reason.
Dude, Reason's solid though.
It was, and
good
the UI is pretty similar to Ableton.
Yeah.
At least like once you got into like the more recent versions of Reason, I started pulling a lot of different elements from Ableton into it.
And you have the Reason rack, and you have like their plugin, the Reason plugin.
Yeah, I have the Reason plugin. In order to use it now, you need a subscription, which I wasn't using enough in order to like justify that.
You have to do a subscription
to use like Maelstrom and stuff, because everything they released like Reason 13 or 14 or something, and I had like Reason like 11 or 12, and none of this stuff was working. In the new Ableton, at least.
Interesting.
So yeah, I had to get a subscription. I got it a little bit for like a month or two, and it was like it's only $20, but I wasn't using it that much.
I hate the subscription thing, dude. Everybody, I have so many subscriptions now. It's overwhelming.
Can't even tell.
I'd much rather just pay more up front and then own it if it's good.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, you had your project pulled up. I think your computer fell asleep.
The template's pretty easy. Drums, everything that isn't a drum other than effects. I don't like to sidechain my effects.
Makes sense.
I feel like they can add to the drums a lot.
You're like little risers and sweeps
and
stuff
like that. Originally,
do you have anything on your drum bus?
Not on the groups or anything. On the hats, I have a Soothe just to. It's off, but
Soothe is great.
I'll turn it on every now and then. Nothing on snares. I think I just have a clipper.
Clip, solid.
Yeah, and then kick. I'll turn that mono on most of the time. And I have a send for like a parallel compression on the drums that I used to just have it both the kick and the snare go into it, but I found that would become like inconsistent when I started changing out kicks and stuff like that. So now I use it per taste, and I usually only do the kick, and I like starting at 0 with whatever kick I'm using, and then going from there. If it needs to be louder, I'll turn it up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then MIDI trigger. So I'll just copy my kick and then copy one of my snare. I usually use 2-3 snares into the ghost lane, which I don't necessarily like. I don't think I need to do. I use the same sidechain for both the kick and the snare, so I'm not like separating those, or
just like copying and pasting MIDI notes where the kick and snares hit.
Not even just the audio files. So it'll like.
Have you ever used anything like a GM Audio Ducker?
That's what I use. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's that. I'll just copy it there, and then like if I go to.
Is there a reason why you don't just use GM Audio Ducker on the actual original kick instead of adding a ghost?
Because the ghost lane, I'll use it because once I put snares in there, I can have everything that I want to trigger the sidechain in the one channel, and then I have the audio ducker set to the ghost channel, so I don't have to have 2 separate audio duckers set to the snare channel and the kick channel.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's just everything's in one place. I don't have to like.
Yeah.
The downside is that like the size of the sidechain is going to be the same for the kick and the snare,
right?
But it's not a huge sidechain anyway. I don't use really big kicks, and if I run into a situation where I need different length sidechains, then I'll just split it up.
Yeah.
Or but in terms of ease and speed, this is what's been easiest for me.
Got you. Lazier than that, I usually just throw down 2 GM Audio Duckers, I guess, for each one. But I mean, it's super low latency. I love that device.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
that's it. That I use that on a bunch of different channels, and then on like this big, the thing that has everything. I have a shaper box too,
The
which
shaper box is solid.
just kind of, I don't know if it does a whole lot, but I'd like just doubling up on sidechain just to make sure nothing else is going on.
Yeah, it's a good device. What you got? Your kicks and snares. You got your drum group. You got your hats with some soothe.
That's what this is.
Do
Yeah.
you do any kind of processing with your group basses, or pretty much just
Yeah, so the drums I'd like to keep as clean as possible. Usually just some EQ, and I'll just have the volumes usually just preset to whatever I usually set them to.
Mhm.
With everything else, I try to keep it on the tracks themselves. Like all these are just pre-made vocal channels.
He's Radio Vox.
Yep.
I have all of his stuff. I haven't played with that one yet.
Actually, I usually don't. I'll like delete this, and then I made my own kind of version.
Nice.
Because this one, it works well, but when I automate, I like to automate the amount, and the radio amount knob is controlling two different filters. It's either two different filters or two different EQs, one or the other. But when you automate that, it would create a lot of like high end stuff that doesn't sound good.
Nasty artifacts.
Yeah, and I couldn't find any good way to get rid of that. So it's good if you're not automating it.
Mhm.
But I made what do I call it? This flow radio chain, which is pretty much
Yeah, let's look at it.
Yeah, it uses an EQ preset called telephone.
Oh.
Um,
Oh yeah. I've
yeah,
played
it's
with
just
that.
an Ableton preset, and then I just automated this knob to a few of these different things. So when it's down, it's just like that, and then
That's tight.
it's usually pretty clean. I honestly stole all this from that one John Summit video where he described his vocal chain,
Okay.
and it's just a little bit of EQ, compressor to taste. I don't use it that much just because the Ahi rack has a big compressor in it, and then
Yeah.
high decay, low dry wet reverb, so it like creates a lot of space, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with the hybrid reverb. I don't know if you play much with
I've
that,
used
but
it. How's that?
it's nice because it has a convolution and algorithmic.
Okay,
So
I
it's
think
like,
I've been using the convolution reverb more.
yeah, so the hybrid reverb is better in my opinion because like you can blend between the two.
Okay.
So you can like actually add your own impulse responses like you can in convolution as well. Mr. Bill had a cool video where he would like drop a voice inside of it, like a melodic voice or whatever,
Mhm.
and then you just play with like the decay time
That's pretty cool.
and then you can like add this kind of like formant room kind of vibe to
Yeah.
like as a layer on basses and stuff.
Ooh,
It was pretty tight.
that's-
But yeah, it's like hybrid reverb is great, and there's like a shimmer option in there, which is like pretty fun. Oh, you're on 12?
yeah, 12.
Yeah, so you have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I
a
definitely have.
it's a solid device. I also really
Oh
like
yeah, I already have it saved too.
for snares, if you need like a little more character to your snare, like if you scroll to the right, then you can see there's a vintage option. If you turn that vintage up, you can almost create almost like a tambourine kind of layer on your snare. You turn that up, like you add to like older, you can like get some kind of cool overtone, like with some of your sounds on that for like percussive stuff.
Is that essentially just like a tube distortion or something, or is it?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like it's doing something. I don't even fully understand it. Yeah, it does some kind of character, like vintage saturation type of thing to it.
Does that do it after the reverb, or is it
Yeah,
kind of like
I think it's post. Yeah, I
post?
think
Okay.
it's post. But yeah, and then there's a lot of good like sounds in the convolution impulse response view, and then you have the blend, so you can go
Mhm.
back and forth to the right or left, and you can change it from parallel to like serial or like change the amount of type. It has like a
See that.
freeze. Yeah, so you can do just convolution, which cancels out
Okay.
everything to the right.
Whenever,
And then if you want some like real like like Valhalla shimmer,
yeah.
this has kind of like a Valhalla shimmer
Oh,
built in.
really?
Yeah, because it says algorithm dark hall right now.
Yeah.
You can change that to shimmer,
Boom.
and then you can play around with some of the the knobs there and get some kind of like a Valhalla shimmer, really hyper reverb space that's like really pretty. Yeah.
Dude, all that's the kind of stuff that like when I will like first start writing a song, that'll always come like later on in the process. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. For sure.
in terms of like if I need to make something sound a little bit different or I need something to like spark a new idea or something,
Yeah.
that's when I'll start like digging into certain things that I don't usually use.
Hmm.
Um and like trying to learn something new or like
Yeah.
figure out a new way to do something that can kind of like help me get to the end of the song.
Totally.
In terms of like writing ideas and stuff like that, I like keeping stuff so basic. That's why I like you just taught me so much stuff about the hybrid reverb that I didn't know. So I was like, I can go in and use that now. But
Yeah.
I never would have figured that out just in like a song, like beginning a songwriting process or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I feel the same way too. Is like if I'm working on a track, I'm usually just trying to work as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's like I think Dylan Ilgates, he had like a good video I watched forever ago that was like is like left brain and right brain sessions,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like the left brain session is like I'm gonna go explore, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna organize my user library, I'm gonna like try something new, I'm gonna like kind of get my try different things I wouldn't normally do, so that in the future I can like work faster,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, and get more creative. But
Well, and it's helpful in helping you feel productive even if you're not feeling creative in the moment too. That's usually how
exactly.
I like parse
Yeah,
out my days. Like if
yeah,
I'm a big believer in not forcing anything. Like if
yeah,
I'm not feeling creative, but I still feel like I need to get something done,
yeah.
then I'll do stuff like that. Lost my train of thought.
That's cool, dude. You've
But
been on it. You did like what, 13 shows in 30 days or something like that?
yeah, I mean, I've had a couple weeks off, but a lot of that's been trying to prep for for tomorrow,
Mm,
and then even like today, like I had a song come out today, and then I guess the Seven Stars lineup just got released, and then I have the show tomorrow. So
yeah,
everything coming up to today has felt like I've had like a lot to promote,
yeah,
which is can feel overwhelming sometimes.
for sure.
But
Yeah, that's a grind.
figuring out how to do things is fun.
Yeah, the track slaps today. I
Thank you.
listened to it on the speakers in here before you got here. It
Yeah,
sounded good.
appreciate that.
Yeah, the mix is really clean.
Thank you. I was trying a lot of new things with
Yeah.
the mix that I did with that, the mix and master.
Do you have that project
Oh
by
yeah.
chance? Do you
I
want
was
to
actually
open it up?
I
Maybe
was
we can
looking at
take a
it.
peek at it. I love doing that. I mean, this is why I do this podcast. I like seeing people's workflow. Everybody does something different, which is like fun to dive into. That's where I learned shit like that hybrid reverb and
Yeah.
other stuff, I do this podcast selfishly so I can find new things to try.
So this is what the projects usually end up looking like after I dive into everything. Got the I made when I made the reel for everything. I forgot
You go back in and make a lot of edits for your live sets.
I'll do that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if I need to like instead of just taking the actual song and for like videos and stuff like that, I'll go in and make something that fits the video more so than like just me chopping off parts of a song, like the actual track.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
just having the control over stuff like that, I like doing.
Yeah, that's why I tell a lot of my students, like, you should get to the place, hopefully, where you can mix and master your own stuff,
Yeah.
because then you have more control, especially for live performance. Like, you can go back in and make tweaks and not have to try to hit up the mastering person and be like, hey, can you, whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ableton's backup feature, right?
Yeah.
It's huge.
No, and especially like I love it. Well, I don't hate it, but there's been times where like I have to send a project to someone,
Yeah.
and if there's so many backups, it just makes the project file so big.
Once I learned how it works, like, I had to be a lot more careful about how often I hit Command S
Yeah.
to save, because it only does, I think it's 10 of the most recent saves.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I'm more like adamant about doing like save as with like 1.1, 1.2 or whatever, because then you have those backups.
Yeah. And
Rather-
you save it within the same project file.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you get, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? If you do like a save 2.0, then you get the backups of that 2.0 of the 10 versions that save versus if you had 1.0, then you save that 10 times.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Nice.
Like everything's there.
Yeah, it sounds sick.
Cool.
What do you have going on in the master?
This master, I got
Not a lot.
Tiny multi-band compression.
Sick.
Soothe, I think it's called This Great Song Is Even Greater preset. And it does a little bit of wrangling some of the high ends before it goes into the clipper, so not everything's getting destroyed out of it.
Yeah.
And I've recently stopped using a clipper on my master. I've been doing it more so in the groups or the.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this song isn't even that old, but that's how much I've been changing everything lately.
I mean, Ableton. So you're just clipping Ableton's master.
Yeah, I'm clipping it. I think
great. I do the same thing.
I think without it, I'll probably push 8. Doesn't sound a whole lot more different though, but I think the clipper kind of just makes everything squeeze together a little bit.
Yeah, Ableton's Live 12's limiter has that clipper in it, which sounds good now.
Yeah,
I love the new limiter update was way overdue.
It was the old one,
it's terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
And I've used so many different clippers trying to find one that K clip was good.
It is.
I found like a little glitch in it.
Oh really?
So I had it on my master a lot of times, and I also had one on this drops group. And when I have both of them on, it at the beginning of the song, it creates like a glitch, like a dropout. And for the longest time, it's happening to so many of my songs. I'd have to like export it with 4 bars and nothing before it, so it'd avoid this.
Do you know if it's an AU or a VST2 issue, or?
I have no idea, but I went through like track by track trying to figure out what it was, and I eventually just turned this off the group, and it didn't do it anymore.
It's only when you have multiple K clip 3s.
I don't even know if it was that. It was because I would turn it off on the master, and then it would still be on the drops, and it would still do it. So
Weird.
I just stopped putting it on the drops anyway.
Interesting. I've never had issues with K clip. I wonder if it's maybe a VST2. If you type in like K clip, what options do you have? Do you have a VST2 that's still usable? Because that could be it. Because yeah, you do. Maybe try never using the VST2, because
I don't even know which one this is.
Because that could have messed it up. VST2s are not well supported in Live 12 at all, and that could be an issue.
I try to only use audio units, but irregardless, I just turned it off, and I kind of I end up like grouping some of my like how I did here. I'll group like the main leads in something, and I'll just throw a soft clipper from the compressor on it anyway.
Nice.
So it's already clipping going into the group, so the group doesn't necessarily need that extra clipper.
I've been a huge fanboy lately on the podcast of Newfangled Saturate. Have you played with it? It's a spectral clipper, so it only clips what's necessary in the right spots. AU5 is the one that turned me onto it.
Really?
And you can slam stuff with it, and it just sounds good.
Really?
Like, I put that on my master usually at the end, and huge fan.
You said it's
by Newfangled Audio. It's called Saturate, and it's a clipper.
It's just there,
yeah, but it has like a little saturate button. You can just like slide the drive up.
So it's like their version of Saturator, essentially.
Yeah, but like way better.
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah,
I was doing one thing for a while. You can kind of see it. Actually, I am doing it here, where I learned this from watching a Tynan video, where he uses a saturator and sets it to he like turns off something. How did I do? This is the one thing I do things and I don't remember how I do them.
Dude, me too. It's hilarious how many people on the podcast, I'm like, how did you make that sound? And 90% of the time, they can't even tell you.
Yeah, no,
They don't even
especially
know.
Nate. Nate's very guilty of that
Yeah, for sure.
sometimes.
He was one of them. I mean, it was a great episode, though. Like, he did show some cool serum stuff.
The you turn off this high quality mode and it essentially just turns it into an analog clipper.
Interesting.
Kind
Yeah,
of like
so
a legacy clip because it's not really doing anything.
you'd have to change it says no clip right now. You'd probably want to change that.
Also, even the device itself works as a clipper when you turn off the high quality mode.
Oh, even without no clip?
Putting a clip mode, yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
like if I
Didn't realize that.
see if I can make it work like this. So
Yeah,
turn it off. See, this is only 1 decibel down. Not that loud. Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit. Yeah, so now it's hitting at 3. Just turn it on. Put it off a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
I even think what's causing that extra is this EQ here.
Yeah, the Live 12 saturator is goated. I love that thing. It's so nice.
But that, yeah, doing that, I stopped doing that because I found out it was causing some like high-end harmonics that were kind of messing with a lot of the other parts of my songs. This song, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the high end, so I was able to just make the song work. I learned it after I finished the song, so
it's funny. Like a lot of times, I feel like producers like us, we obsess over little things like that. But in the end of the day, like 90% of the people listening wouldn't even really know this much of a difference.
No, and it's in my head because like I'll go down. You don't hear it on like good speakers. You don't hear it on car speakers. Usually it's when you like listen to it like on your phone or something that you notice like, oh, it just sounds like there's a lot of white noise or something going on.
Yeah.
And that's what like kind of kicks me off to obsessive because I wanted it to sound the same on every speaker. And I don't have like an extensive knowledge to know how to do that other than just getting the mix down right or fixing certain things.
But that is like smart though, because most people are listening on really crappy speakers or there are phones or whatever.
The good old Apple earbuds. I have some in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
If it sounds good on those, and usually it'll sound good on just about anything. Yeah,
especially the new like AirPod 4 Pros or whatever. Like the sub that it like recreates on those. Obviously, it's not like real true sub, but like the sub emulation that they have in there is actually insane.
Yeah,
like you can really hear that bass, and that I reference on those too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, even I think what really got me just worried about how it sound on even the crappy. I was at like my friend's house once, and he played one of my songs on the worst JBL speaker you've ever seen, and it sounded so bad. But he would play like other songs, and it would sound like okay. I'm like, oh, how do I do that? How do I get this bad speaker to make my song sound decent at least?
Yeah. Are there any other like tips or tricks that you've learned as far as like getting some of that bass to translate on like smaller speakers or phones or whatever?
It's mainly just having the basses sit right. A lot of those phone speakers, a lot of them are in mono. So if your songs are sounding good in mono, chances are they're going to sound good on those speakers and any other speakers. I don't have a whole lot of stuff being too stereo. It's not always intentional. That's how I'm not focusing on making stuff super wide or having anything like sit in a very specific place in the mix or in the like spectrum of left, right, panning, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to glue everything together in a way that sounds good rather than like fitting the puzzle piece together. Because I've seen a whole lot of stuff about having certain frequencies this wide, having the sub like right down the middle. I mean, sub right down the middle is a given, but I don't try to. I feel like it can get a little too strict with things if you're trying to abide by those rules all the time. You kind of just gotta go with your guts, go with your ears.
Yeah. That's the thing is like I've been trying to be more like out of my head and like in my body with mixdowns,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's like a lot of it is just perception, like the mixing process. Like it's good to know technical things, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times it's just like how does that mix make you feel more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think that translates if you have good referencing.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I feel like that translates to how it's feeling, is how the drums are sitting in everything, because that's what's carrying the song rhythmically. If you have a good set of drums and nothing else is kind of overwhelming those,
Yeah.
you're gonna feel the song at least rhythmically.
Yeah.
Everything else around it is what can make you feel other things, like fun little emotions with however you're writing the music or the way it sounds.
Yeah.
But the backbone is really having those drums good, and that's why I have like I make all my songs kind of based around my drums.
Yeah. Do you aim for like a certain loudness or decibels with your drums before you add around it?
I try to. Were you gonna say anything else?
No,
The
you're
car
good.
horn kind of threw me off.
No, we'll edit that. We have a plugin called Clear that we use because there's a lot of traffic. Anybody listening, like outside, we're on the 4th floor of downtown Denver.
Yeah.
But there's a plugin called Clear that's really, really good, and it can clean up any kind of stuff like that. Yeah, it's like
outward noise reduction.
It's using some kind of like intelligent something. It's by Supertone. My friend turned me onto it, but it's awesome for cleaning up any vocal stuff. Anyway,
I want all my drums to kind of sit at 0. I've gotten into the habit of letting myself make them a little louder recently, but these are all like, I think I did a little boost here on this kick, but it's like it's at 0. There's nothing other than this EQ making it any louder. And that and the sub are what I want to be the most like in sync. This the subs on this song are a little crazy because I used a few different ones. I think this is that's the main one in the drop, but and we can get.
See, you're doing some stuff to that sub.
Yeah, we can get deep into that after. I'll show you this first though. So I just started doing this a few months ago. I forget where I saw it, but on the spectrum here, kind of measures where that sub is sitting in terms of loudness.
It's probably hard to hear if people are listening on their phone or something.
Yeah, but
you can see what we're talking about. Yeah.
And then I'll solo the kick with it and kind of just make sure they're around the same loudness. Like that kick's hitting -4 and the sub's sitting like not far below it.
Nice.
And those are the things that I want to make sure that are the loudest things in the song.
So you'll just like solo the kick and the bass and then look at it on the master with the spectrum.
Oh yeah, I'll look at that. I use mini meters too.
Yeah, mini meters solid.
And that's usually what I'll use to kind of figure out like the phasing of the sub depending on what kick I'm using.
Yeah.
That's also a pretty new thing I've started doing lately, just because I would always wonder why some of those like kick hits weren't hitting as hard as I think they should. And I found out it was just because sometimes they're phasing out the sub a little bit too much.
Interesting. Even with sidechaining?
Even with because the sidechain is not, my sidechain isn't cutting out the whole kick for the most part. Like you can see it on the ducker here. Like there's a little bit of the tail of the kick going.
Right. Yeah.
And I kind of like the blending a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want it to jump out of the way too long.
No.
Yeah.
And then mini meters show up here. Like I think I can show you what I mean.
I have it. I just never use it, but I see everybody else using it.
It's really good to kind of get the visual of the track. Like you can see right there, there's like no phasing going on in the kick, and then on the second hits, mainly because the key changes. But that first hit right there, there's no phasing.
Yeah.
it's just the kick and the sub are working together really well.
A nice waveform.
And then, yeah, we can get into the sub now. I've also recently changed this. What I can do.
It's got like a sine wave and serum, it looks like, maybe going through.
Yeah, this is actually the Effins 808 rack that I dumbed down a lot. Let me see. These are all my template names or my default names. So
Can't decide.
Yeah. So this is what I changed it to. I'll go through what I have it as in this song, and then I'll show you what I've changed it to recently.
Sure.
So here, yeah, so this was just Effin. The serum all the way to this glue compressor was Effin's 808 rack. I don't even know where I got it. It was using both oscillators. I just switched it to a sine wave, and then I put a filter kind of drive in it. And this is what the decay is kind of what makes it the 808. I recently just cranked the sustain, so it's just a solid.
Yeah, sustained.
Yeah, I don't think a little bit of EQ's not doing anything. A little more filtering, some distortion, and then everything in here is kind of like turns it down, adds some noise, just kind of add in some fill in, and then OTT. It's just more distortion, and then the glue compressor. Without this EQ, it sounds
definitely
pretty heavy,
buzzy.
Yeah, so this is kind of just I wanted only the sub going on.
Yeah,
and then I just monoed it after that.
Nice. It makes sense to me.
And then
are you clipping that with the glue? Glue compressor. Hit play.
Yeah, it's clipping right there.
Oh yeah, it's clipping pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Because these were all the effects that were already in the rack that he made. And then what I realized I felt like I was doing too much with it. So I wanted to dumb it down, and pretty much it's just the same serum preset, except I got rid of the drive on the filter because I realized that was adding harmonics. So it's just that solo sine wave going, and then a little bit of a softer EQ, just to, because the brick wall would kind of create a harmonic sometimes, right where it had that cutoff. And if I played notes in different keys, it would become very apparent. So I wanted to not deal with that. And what I realized is that as is, it's not going to be hitting at 0, even though the track's at 0. I think it hits around -8. So what I'll do is I'll just take, instead of using the filter to drive it, which will create distortion, I'll just use this EQ until it's, and then it'll fill up the waveform or whatever you want to call it really well.
Yeah.
Without distorting or creating harmonics.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
It's getting pretty loud now, but it's like still clean.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I
got it filtered.
Yeah, it won't start distorting until you start clipping it.
Nice. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's good little pro tips.
And it's been a lot easier because then I don't have to fix the low end on my basses as much. I don't have to like cut them out, because if the sub's creating all those harmonics in that like muddy section, and your basses also have that, it's just they're gonna collide and
for sure
not agree with each other.
Yeah, you can't be having that. That's not fun at all. Well, maybe let's talk about any favorite other plugins or Ableton stock devices that you can't live without, your go-tos.
Ducker's been the one. The Max for Live. I'm a big serum guy. Even like with my old laptop, I couldn't really use serum 2 because it was just frying my CPU. I still like the good old serum 1. I think more than serum 2.
I think
it could be a hot take.
It just took me a while to like gravitate over to serum 2 because I feel like I had to relearn a bunch of stuff. But I do love serum 2, and you have more oscillators. You've got like the distortion inside the oscillators now.
There's
You've
more
got
possibilities.
so many, more
Yeah.
LFO options. It's
Stacking effects.
a
Yeah.
lot more effects. You can like split the effects, like low, mid, high, which is nice too.
Yeah, you don't have to do it in Ableton anymore. You can,
Right.
Yeah.
There's some definitely nice upgrades in there,
100%.
but I do feel like Serum, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Serum 1 is just a tiny bit more CPU friendly.
Oh, definitely.
That's the only thing.
And I have like all my old presets that I made in Serum 1 too, that like I've kind of found that like, I mean, you just saw how the sub I was using is still Serum 2. Like some of the waveforms in Serum 1 kind of they sound like just a little bit different. They sound a little warmer somehow, especially like the saw waves, just the default presets. But you can, there's definitely more you can get out of Serum 2, more complex stuff.
Oh yeah. It's a deep hole.
Yeah, and I mean, easy way that I've been able to learn a little better is like finding like if they have like presets on Splice for Serum 2, downloading them, dissecting them, reverse engineering, seeing how people make these sounds in Serum 2. I will say anything that uses like the sampler within Serum 2, even though I have a pretty new computer, will still like crank my CPU.
Yeah, Leo Trix was on the podcast with Eli Derp the other day, and they were talking about using the noise in Serum 2 as a sampler. Basically, you can drag any audio into the noise window, and then you just play it back as a sampler, and then you can add all the effects and everything else in Serum on it, and it's wild. It's actually pretty sick.
I thought you could do that in Serum 1 too. I don't know if you could drag it, but I knew you could put just about any sample you wanted into the noise oscillator.
Oh, really? In one?
Because that's how there's a lot of like Serum 1, like snares, like drums and stuff that people were just dropping into the noise oscillator instead of one of the actual oscillators. Yeah,
it was pretty wild. They're doing some cool stuff with it. I need to play with some of that more. Is using it to sample back stuff.
Especially like the different LFO modes are like the free one is still like, I look at it, I'm like, I don't 100% get how it works yet, but it's so cool.
Yeah. What about any Max for Live devices? You mentioned GM Audio Ducker.
GM Audio Ducker, I just got, it's another sidechain, Duck Buddy. Let me take a look.
Yeah, Duck Buddy's cool.
Duck Buddy's really cool.
Yep. Slink.
Yeah, what I realized with that though is you have to use the MIDI trigger for the sidechain, which
kind of annoying.
I might switch to, just because like with trying different kicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of just switching out the audio, having a sampler going and just kind of running through kicks is.
I think he made a newer version of Duck Buddy. I think it's like Duck Buddy 2 or something. The first one didn't work very well.
I did get Duck Buddy 2. That was the one. Because you can kind of like, it has like a ring modulator in it. So like, you can do all sorts of cool stuff to where it's very like seamless.
Yeah. I heard the second one works great. The first one struggled a bit.
Let me see if I have any Max for Live events.
You have an ADG called Horny.
Yeah. I think that's
some horns.
I think that might actually be Max for Live or just an Ableton pack. It's all horns. I might have accidentally.
Yeah. Sample is offline.
Womp, womp. Yeah, I don't know if it was this one, but I think, where is it? There's Flow Brass. This is what he's using for a lot of my horns. And this is an Ableton. I just downloaded this off I think it's called Orchestral Brass or Brass Ensemble here.
Yeah, by Spitfire Audio. They have a pack that's Brass Ensemble.
That's probably it.
By Spitfire Audio.
So I would use this for all my horns.
Brass Quartet. That's what it's called.
I have Brass Quartet too. I think I don't know if it's Spitfire Audio, but I downloaded this straight off Ableton's website. Yeah. Like when you have the expansion packs in your account.
Did you ever use Spitfire Labs, the plugin? It was like free and had a bunch of real instrument emulations and stuff, or sampled instruments.
I didn't. I used Contact for that.
Here. Spitfire Labs was pretty dope. It just got bought out by Splice, and now it's essentially Splice Instrument now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the Splice plugin.
Yeah,
That's pretty
Splice
cool though.
instrument. And they have their instrument plugin, which essentially they just bought out from Spitfire.
Does it essentially work kind of like Contact as like a sampler?
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think it's way more stable and doesn't suck as much.
That
I have
might be
such a
worth looking into then. Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Contact. It's just crashed so many times
Yeah.
and the interface sucks and it's never been updated well.
No.
But the library of sounds are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even dived into how much. I kind of just use the same 3 things with when I use Contact, and then I end up just it's like
What do you use in there?
ignition keys.
Nice.
It's all for keys. I don't use them in drops or anything. I kind of just use them to write intros, and then I'll freeze it and bounce it as soon as I get what I'm written.
Nice.
And I use it. They are really good for chords, for like actual instrument sounding stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I used any Contact in this project.
Yeah. But I really like the Arturia keys.
I think I've used.
They have some really good pianos. Or honestly, I think the best emulation of a piano I've heard is Addictive keys. Have you heard of them? It's expensive. It's not cheap, but it sounds absolutely insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a separate thing or is it a Contact device?
No, it's a separate thing. Yeah, Addictive. They make a bunch of different stuff. They have like Addictive horns or Addictive keys, a bunch of different ones.
Wait, here's what I use. It's just ignition keys.
XLN audio.
XLN, okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that make a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, I essentially just use like whatever's on here.
Nice.
Super simple.
I'll be curious to see what happens to Native Instruments in the next like 5 years, because apparently they're still going, but they've had some like serious like debt issues and like some stuff going on with like potential bankruptcy or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's because they switched to subscription based a while ago?
They bought out Isotope, which I'm sure was not cheap.
No, definitely not.
And they acquired a couple other companies at the same time. I think they just like went ham and just bought up a ton of people as a grab, maybe.
Yeah.
And see how that works out for them.
I don't think. I mean, we talked a little bit about it with the Reason stuff. I don't think the subscription based thing is sustainable a lot for these, because like
worked out for Splice though.
It has worked out for Splice. They kind of got a corner on the market though. Like
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's its own thing.
Have you tried using Lander at all?
I know of Lander. I've actually played with their mastering AI stuff, and
Really?
it's gotten pretty good. Like it used to be kind of shitty, but now it sounds pretty solid. I would never use it for my own music, but I think like if you're like scoring music or like writing music for commercials or you need a quick turnaround, it's solid.
Yeah, 100%. And they have the platform, like it's essentially a Splice sample platform.
Yep, they got their samples.
Like I downloaded a whole pack. It's definitely not as user friendly as Splice because you kind of have to like, it's not all in one place. You kind of pick what you want and then it puts it in a zip drive and then gives it to you. So you can't just like sync everything in one place. But I downloaded like, they don't update the vocal packs either. Like I downloaded a whole vocal pack. I used it in like 3 or 4 of my songs, and mainly just because not a whole lot of people were using Lander stuff.
Yeah.
They were never dropping new vocal packs. They only have 20 that like anything I found good at. And like once I went through all those, I was like, okay, what else is there?
Yeah.
Twice you can kind of like get into a hole
it's
and
crazy.
and
They
deep
release
dive.
so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane. Which also has to be expensive because if you're paying all these curators constantly every week, be dropping new stuff.
They probably have. I'd be curious to know the business of it because
I know it's changed a little bit. I had one of my friends, he goes by Captain is his artist name. Steven, he works for Splice on the developer team. He shared a little bit of insights and some of the stuff. They use a lot of AI for tagging their stuff. I don't know if you've ever like have looked through Splice and stuff and been like, this doesn't make sense. Like for this sample for what I'm searching for.
Yeah.
It's because it's all AI now. They're just using it to auto tag and auto filter.
I mean, even for that, I can see why they're using it. It would take
for
a
sure.
lot of manpower to really figure it out. Especially some of these packs have like 800, 900 samples. I mean,
Crazy.
did you see the new Sounds of Cashmere stuff? It's like
Uh-uh.
5 different packs, and each one has like 1,000 samples.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That
because
would take so long to make.
I mean, the last time he released the Sounds of Cashmere was probably like 5 years ago, 4
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
and
Sure they paid him pretty well for that.
oh, I mean, he's made them. Again, I don't know how the business works, but so many people got directed to Splice because of how big and how good his sample packs were. Like that's why it's like usually if you sign up for Splice, it's like one of the first things that pops up.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely have the market on lock. And now they're going to the AI world. I've talked about this, but there's like if you download the Splice plugin, and you open it up, there's this thing called variations now. So you can click that and AI generates different versions of the same sample, which works awesome for like drums or like instruments. For vocals, it's kind of weird
Yeah,
because it just makes them say gibberish.
yeah,
Because
it
it
can
doesn't
be
actually,
touchy with that.
yeah, it doesn't use real words because,
Yeah,
but it's kind of a cool way to, because it's annoying when you hear the same samples over and over. I don't know how many times you've heard a track and you're like, oh, that's a Splice sample,
yeah,
you know? Um,
and yeah, I've kind of like
oh, interesting. So I just looked this up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
go for it.
I was gonna say I just asked ChatGPT what the Splice payment model looks like. And it says it doesn't have a one-time fixed payment model. It's a mix of royalties and negotiated deals. So
Essentially like a record label.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the option, but it says you can earn royalties based on downloads. Every time somebody spends a credit to download your sample, you can get a cut. Um, it also upfront deals for bigger artists like Kashmir, Oliver. They do advance payments, better royalty splits, also marketing support. Also, they do a commission or work for hire as well. So sometimes they'll hire musicians to create content, and they pay a flat fee up front sometimes.
Yeah.
So it just depends, I guess.
Because you got to think a lot of you see like they have pages or companies that will drop like drop gun samples, Black Octopus, like all these people they're dropping packs on Splice, and sometimes they'll have like guest DJs, like all the Disciple ones. Like that's probably a thing where Disciple's paying the artist to make the pack, curate it, whatever they're doing, like a flat rate, and then they're negotiating the royalties with Splice. So it's changing. There's probably like a few middlemen, but that's essentially how record labels run too, with artists versus like AR people, producers, and then you have
Yeah,
the label doing the business with everything.
it makes sense too. From a business model, you don't want to be paying somebody who's like brand new, who might not have a name, as much as you would for somebody like Kashmir either. So they might want different things.
Especially for these vocal packs, like a lot of these people that are making really good vocal packs that are being put out. Like the big one on Splice I see is some company called VOX, or 91 Vocals. Like these singers, vocalists, they don't really have like a name. A lot of them are probably just top liners, but having a whole pack kind of like, and having these companies that make the sample packs kind of co-sign them, they're probably just giving them a flat rate. Essentially, it's paying them for like a music session. But it's also giving a lot of credibility. I know people that have found vocal packs on Splice and like went and found the artist and reached out and be like, hey, I liked your Splice vocal pack. Would you want to just work on some like original stuff?
Yeah.
So it gives an air of credibility to a lot of people that probably wouldn't otherwise end up in that realm.
Yeah. Makes sense. What do you do when you feel like you can't get through a song or you have writer's block? Because I feel like that's something every producer deals with. Is like, okay, I feel stuck. Like, what are some go-to things that you do when you feel like you're stuck on a project?
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's usually, I said I'm not big on forcing things. So if I hit a point where I feel stuck or I have a writer's block, I will kind of just put my energy in other places. Like I'll still try to be creative in certain ways, edit videos. I've been designing a lot of the cover art for my albums for a long time. So I'll get in Photoshop or Illustrator and I'll try to make something in there.
Mhm.
And if I'm kind of putting my head in a creative mind space, even though it's not directed at making a song, usually that inspiration will come back naturally instead of me trying to like force something
Mhm.
or just make something appear out of thin air that isn't going to be there. Um, because if I do try to do that, like if I feel like I'm pressured or I'm on a deadline or I have to get something done, I'm usually not going to be happy with what comes out of that.
Mm.
Or even if what comes out of it is good enough, I'm not going to feel like I'd really accomplished anything by getting it by getting it to that point in a headspace that I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that fully answers the question. It's really just
Yeah.
it's putting your head in a place where you're being creative anyway, but it's not necessarily what you want to what you need to do, but keeping the positive energy in it because you don't want to just sit and do nothing and wait for something to happen. Like you got to
Sure. You got to show
keep
up
moving,
for
got to
it.
keep doing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's even if it's like watching tutorials or something like that or deep diving on how to like make a new sound or anything like that can just get my head back in a place to wanting to finish a song or keep making music.
Yeah, totally. I think like showing up is the key. Because like it's going to be hit or miss. You
Mhm.
know, you can't always force it. Like sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Like that flow state or whatever you want to call it. And like some of the artists I know that like make some of my favorite tracks, they write the most music because they're just like every single day, even if it's like 15 minutes, they're on their laptop just making a beat
Mhm.
and they may never listen to it again. But sometimes it just hits. And like, I don't know about you, but all my favorite tracks I write in the least amount of time.
Yeah.
It just happens. You know what I mean? Other times I keep pushing through and pushing through. And then I start to hate it or I just listen to it later. I was like, nah, and just move on.
Mhm. No, and especially like I'll hit moments where my last my upcoming releases and all the new songs that have been playing in my sets I've made probably within like a week of each other, like
Hmm.
at least got all the ideas down like day after day.
Yeah.
And then like I'll get 1 week of that where I'm just cranking out a whole bunch of stuff. But it all comes from I like keeping like my music production schedule pretty regimented. Like it's always during the daytime. It's always like usually right when I wake up I got a routine, and having that routine kind of puts me in a place to be the best I can be. It doesn't always, like I said, you're not always in that right headspace no matter what you do, but
Mhm.
doing the extra steps outside of actually getting on your computer and opening Ableton,
Mhm.
you're always fully in control of that. So if everything's consistent and where it needs to be, that creates the best environment to be creative and get something done.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
I feel like I had another thought, but I forgot what it was.
That's okay. Um, yeah, man. Dream collab, dead or alive. If you could collab with anybody, who would it be?
Probably Oral Grime.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
he's who got me into music. I wasn't like I didn't really grow up. Um, my family wasn't really musical. I played sports for a lot of my young life, and then when I was 18, I went to an Oral Grime concert, and I was like, I was in a transitional place in my life, and I was like, okay, maybe give this a shot.
Yeah.
And then went to college and downloaded Reason and got Serato and taught myself everything from the jump.
Sick.
But yeah, that Oral Grime concert and his music, I've always just loved trap music and everything he's been about. He's kind of like been really good at staying relevant, at least musically.
Mhm.
Like all of his new tunes that come out are just they're so good. It's his old albums are really good. Like
He's been doing it for a while.
yeah,
For
definitely
sure.
definitely
Legend.
would love to work with him if
That would be
ever
sick.
given the chance.
I'd
Yeah,
love to hear what that sounds like
I
between the
would
two
too.
of you. um, any fun or tragic show moments, or both? Maybe tragic in a fun way.
Tragic. Every especially with like CDJs getting to the point that they're banned, you don't really run into a lot of gear issues anymore.
Mhm.
I will say this past New Year's Eve, I like mid set, I don't know how tragic this is. Probably just the most recent story I can think of. Mid set, all of the CDJs came unlinked.
Oh no.
So they're all linked before, and I don't do a whole bunch of crazy stuff when I'm DJing. I'm kind of just, I have one USB plugged in, and then I'm using sync across, just to keep everything pretty consistent, no mess ups.
Sure, yeah.
And it was, as soon as they all became unlinked, I kind of like realized, because like
Nothing was locked in.
3 of the CDJs just went like, nothing's happening.
Oh no.
Fortunately,
They just locked up, like they weren't working.
well, I mean, they became unlinked, so my USB just wasn't showing up on them anymore. They're still on, they're still working, they're still connected to the mixer. It's just everything was just acting as an individual player.
Oh shit. Did you have to unplug your USB?
So fortunately, I don't know if it emergency looped. I don't really remember. Music didn't stop playing, but I keep 4 USBs on me, so
that's good.
I plugged another one in, and I didn't have headphones, so I just one of my buddies was off to the side. I just, music so loud, I go over, I yell, I was like, "Give me headphones right now!" He's like, "What?" Headphones. I'm just kind of going, figuring it out from there. Brings me headphones, and then I can kind of start mixing normally because I can listen to it. But
that sucks.
For a solid like 15 minutes. Fortunately, like one person in the crowd said they didn't really notice anything. So
yeah, that's the thing too, is like when we mess up on stage, unless it's blatantly obvious, most people don't even,
unless the music stops. That's when you know.
Yeah.
And even throughout the years, I've gotten, if I mess up or something,
that's
you can just eat him, just hit him with a whoops. Sorry.
Oops.
Let's keep it going.
That's the best thing to do though, is like, you know, if you mess up on stage, like if you feel awkward, everybody's gonna feel awkward.
Yeah.
If you're just like rolling with it and don't care, people are not gonna care.
Yeah. And then you just gotta, damn, you remind me of a whole bunch of stories now.
Dude, yeah, sure.
I'll tell this one because this is like something completely out of my control, and then I'll tell what happened before Red Rocks this past year, which was scary. But I played Breakaway Tampa, and I don't know what it was. There's one of my songs, halfway through the song, something in the file of the song was corrupted. So my USB wasn't corrupted. The CD, nothing was wrong with the CDJ, but halfway through the song, not even on load up, it would just stop playing.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I didn't really like know what was going on. So halfway through the song, shuts off. I'm like, I see the CDJs are still on, everything's working. So I just kind of start the song over, does it again, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And this isn't even something where I was like, I knew it wasn't my fault, so I didn't really know what to like play off on. So I was just kind of saying that was a moment where it's like awkward, but I also like didn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just played the next song, and I was like, what happened with that?
Weird.
And I had to go back. I just re-uploaded a different file.
Damn.
But that was tough because I still don't know what happened. I've told a couple other people that story.
The weird glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, I think this was like right when 3000s came out, I think. So maybe something was
a software update or something
like that.
Yeah. Honestly, Pioneer's not great at software updates. Let's be honest.
It's been, especially when I got this new computer. I still don't have Rekordbox 7. I refuse to get it.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared.
Yeah, I have the like base version is 6 that I needed to get the library plus 1, whatever it's called.
Yeah. I'm never gonna use that.
Well, I had to update all my stuff anyway because I played a show a few weeks ago where they had the brand, the 3000Xs, and if your library's not updated, then it won't work at all on those new ones.
Damn.
But when I got my new computer, I updated everything everywhere. I haven't had any Rekordbox issues, fortunately.
That's good.
But in terms of Rekordbox issues, like the day I was supposed to play Red Rocks last year, I was staying at my buddy's house, and I went on my laptop to show my manager something. And I still have the hard drive with me, but I had a different hard drive, and I was tried plugging it into my laptop, and it wasn't showing up on my laptop at all. Like this 4 terabyte hard drive wasn't showing up. And I tried it on my manager's laptop, still wasn't showing up. And it's just like, we're leaving to go to Red Rocks in like 2 hours.
Oh no.
And I'm freaking out. Yeah, so I plugged it into my manager's laptop. Nothing's working. I'm trying to just figure out how I'm gonna get the songs I need, because I've gotten better at it, but I didn't keep anything just on my laptop. Everything was on my hard drive.
Damn.
And I didn't think the hard drive was corrupted.
Was it backed up to the cloud or something?
No, I've tried backing up to Dropbox, this one, and it says it's going to take like 3 days. So
I'd be terrified to have my life only on one drive.
I didn't run into any issues until this one.
Yeah.
Because it's an SSD, apparently, because it was a SanDisk one.
Yeah, I've used those.
The 4 terabyte apparently was one that had issues.
Yeah.
But like the 2 and 3 didn't. It's only the 4.
Damn.
I always ask my photographer friends what the best stuff to do with hard drives is, and they haven't turned me wrong yet.
Yeah.
But
so what did you do?
so it wasn't the buddy's house I was staying at. He had like a Windows PC, so I was like, okay,
Gross.
and it's like a desktop. I was like, let's plug it in here, see if it works. It showed up on that, and I was able to just get the songs I was gonna play, put them on my USB, and then did everything through Rekordbox. But the whole time, and I wanted to make sure the song, because I didn't know if the like hard drive itself was corrupt, so we had to find some CDJs, made sure the songs weren't corrupted on my USB, and it was a whole process. And
how much time did you have before you had to play?
This was still in the morning. I think had like an hour before we had to leave. So like we left, and it was probably like 20-30 minutes to Red Rocks, and then we got there probably an hour and a half before my set.
Damn, not a lot of time.
Not a lot of time, but like
that'd be stressful.
Figured it out. Fortunately, the person with the CDJs that we found was like a block and a half away from where my buddy's house was. Nice. So we just popped over.
There you go. Did it. That would definitely be stressful for sure.
Yeah,
but the set went great, right?
Set was fine. Great. And after the set was done was when I started worrying about like, oh, what if my
let me get
my hard drive. What if my hard drive is actually corrupted?
Damn.
Fortunately, I got home. I used a different USB-C wire, and then I transferred everything to a new thing immediately because I was like, I'm not even dealing with this.
Yeah, one of my best friends like owns an IT company, and he like really embedded into my brain the 3-2-1 rule. You have like 3 different backups. 2 of them are on hard storage, 1 in the cloud for everything. And that's kind of what I've been doing. It's been okay so far.
I've just been running into issues with getting everything onto the cloud because I've been essentially transferring from hard drive to hard drive since like 2017, 2018. Like I started with those big orange lacy hard drives.
Oh yeah, me too. Like I still have like 2 of those like in my closet somewhere.
Oh yeah. And eventually like I had 2 of those, and I switched to the SanDisk.
Yeah.
And then now I'm on this. And it's just been like I went into
this is a good one. This is the T7.
T7, yeah.
Yeah, the T7 Shield. Those are the best because they don't overheat. So yeah, they're made for that, which is nice. And I mean, they're fast. That's what I'm using to record video right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's because there's one with a little bit faster transfer speeds than this. But I heard for like Ableton and music purposes, it doesn't really matter. It's only if you're transferring like
big files, real time.
Like I still have the 4 terabyte hard drive. Yeah. And now anytime someone needs to like dump photo stuff to me, that I just bring it. They dump it onto that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to live at your desktop.
Yeah. I don't even have a desktop. It's just
yeah, dude. I'm jealous of that M5. That's what I'm waiting to get right now from the Apple Store, but they canceled my order because they're stupid.
Well, but you can get them. They have M5 Max now.
The Airs?
I don't think it's the Air.
I think the Airs just came out. I think the M6s are coming out later this year, which they're
doing it so fast.
Fast, dude. It's crazy.
I still remember when the M1 came out.
Oh yeah, I still have an M1 Mini, and it's a tank. It's great. I love that thing. I've had it since like 2022, 21.
That was one of the things I didn't realize how much I would learn about computers and stuff when I started making music, and like how important, like, you go to shows now, and if you're talking with other DJs, all you're talking about is either computer stuff or like travel stuff.
True.
And like those are like the big conversations. It's like the secret. If you ever want to be friends with a DJ, just talk about computers or travel, and
tech talk.
They'll open up. Yeah,
that's 90% of my green room conversation.
Exactly. Yeah,
I was just on tour with Beats Antique, and just got back a couple of days ago, and we were talking about Chat DSP. Have you heard of this? It just came out.
I think. Did you post a video of it?
I don't think so.
Someone posted like a
Dylan Oh no, I did.
You did? Yeah,
Dylan Bastian, who's like an Ableton programming legend. He made like Inspired by Nature Pack and a bunch of stuff, but it's on the screen right here. Basically, you just generate by prompting. You have to have an AI agent set up. So I just chose like a key. You just create an OpenAI account, and you can just make a key, and then it just chooses the model, and then 5 Mini is the cheapest. And then I chose like high effort. I felt like anything below that didn't work very well. And then just the key, and then you just type in whatever you want. I typed in like, I want a ring modulation distortion audio effect that I can add on top of my drum loop. And it did a pretty solid job of creating like, so basically anybody listening, you just prompt a new Ableton Live device or instrument, and it'll create it for you. And then it maps up to 8 different parameters. So if you go to the device view, it just automatically mapped and created like a modulation, a mix, output, depth, drive, tone, wave shape, stereo. So it just generates whatever you want, basically. And I found it worked like 40% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
I mean, probably the simpler thing, the better.
And yeah, like if you have to be pretty specific to what you want, and like it's not going to be perfect a lot of times, but there's a MIDI effect, an audio effect, and an instrument, so you can have it generate an instrument for you, which is crazy.
That was going to be my next question: is how does it work on like MIDIs? And
I think the audio effect one worked the best. Like if I was going to play like a drum loop, I'd probably need the audio. But yeah, it like sounded like this. It was pretty interesting. So without it, it sounds like. So this is what it sounds like without it. And then if you turn on the Chat DSP, it's going to create some ring modulation. And so it's 100%. You can wave shape it. Yeah, it's just crazy, dude. Like it just built that for you. So I don't know. It's like one of those things. I'm sure it'll get better with time. It also depends on the AI agent that you choose. Right now, it's just Anthropic and OpenAI, but it'd be cool if they expanded that. Yeah, it's a cool concept, Chat DSP. So it's fun. It's like $10. And you get all 3 devices.
Because it basically just makes macros essentially, and then it'd be cool if you could like expand on it and see like what each macro is doing. If it like uses kind of like how you expand a rack.
It'd be nice. You can also edit, like if you it's like ChatGPT, right? If you don't like the first version, you can choose prompt device edit, and you click on that, and then you just type in something new, and then you click that, and it'll like reiterate it, and then it'll just change the device over here too. You can also add more parameters, it looks like. I'm not sure how to do that. You can also randomize them too. You click that, it'll just like randomize the. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Pretty cool. It's a cool idea. Just to get, I feel like it's a nice happy accident generator too, you know?
Oh, 100%. And it's definitely like, I like that more than kind of prompting something that out of nowhere, like it's affecting existing stuff. I mean, unless you can make an instrument.
Well, you can save it. Yeah. You can save this too as a ADG.
Oh, really?
So you can just create something that sounds good, and you're like, oh, I really like that. I'll use that as an audio effect later, and you just save it.
Have you tried making an instrument with it?
I did. I struggled with the instrument. Really? Yeah, I had a hard time. We can try it. But yeah, Chat DSP. So it's called Chat DSP Synth. Okay. And it just has to be on a MIDI track, obviously. Yeah. It's going to load. It takes a second to load. It's not the fastest, but it's kind of cool. If it gives you an error, you can choose open code, and then it'll like, you can literally copy and paste the code error and paste it back into the device prompt, and then hit submit, and it'll like try to fix it or like something like that. I don't know. That's what I read in the text when you download it. But yeah, sometimes it does take a little bit of time because it's obviously sending it off to OpenAI servers and back. You know, that's the only thing. It'd be really cool if you could run it locally.
Yeah.
That would be huge, which might be coming, hopefully. Because if they expand this to Olama, which is Meta's version, you can run on your computer locally. And it's like very CPU friendly.
Really?
Yeah. And then it learns based off of your own machine and device as you keep going. So you don't have to connect to the internet, which is really nice.
Well, it takes a lot of work to kind of integrate it with all these different AIs too.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Especially like,
because it's just like an API key, basically.
Are some of these, I'm not too privy on how all that works, but like would Meta's AI, would that be like proprietary?
Well, that's the advantage of Llama, is that like they made it so it's not proprietary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's why people love using it, because it is more private. Like OpenAI has their servers, everything's living on their servers.
Yeah.
But with Meta, theirs lives on your computer. So then you can just run it off of your computer, and then it's a lot safer in that way because it's not sending information into the cloud. So it's a lot if you have private information and stuff. A lot of people like it for that.
Yeah.
All that being said, let's maybe wrap this up pretty quick. I think my parking meter expired like an hour ago. So I don't want to get a ticket. But yeah, man, upcoming projects, anything you want to shout out?
Good run of shows. I haven't really figured out what my next release is even going to be. I do want to promote the song I just dropped today, Jump.
Sick.
Yeah, it's my first original single of the year.
Cool.
Everything else has been a collab or a remix or something like that. So it's nice to be putting out just good old original music. Hopefully a lot more is to come. Gonna try to make an EP for the end of the year. I want that to be super like themed and curated. So that's really exciting. I've already started laying the groundwork for that. I think it's going to be really cool, especially once I figure out the songs that I want to go in it. I don't think I've made all the songs yet, but the vision I have in my head, I'm super excited about. Super happy to. I can't say too much, but I don't want to give away all the secrets of the project yet. But
sure,
I'm really excited about it. Hopefully, at very end of the year.
Nice. And any upcoming shows, tours, anything?
No specific tours. I've one stop on Mercif's tour, but I play back-to-back with Ferva. I think that's my next show after this. That's going to be in Texas, also with Merciv.
Nice.
Show with Crank That.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, those are always really fun. I love playing those shows.
He's crazy. His production's wild, man. He puts a lot of work into his visuals too.
It really shows.
Yeah.
I think because he's doing next week, he's got his Red Rocks.
Yeah, I'm planning on being there.
I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if I wasn't, I'm going to Miami Music Week next week, but if I wasn't there, I definitely would have tried to go to the Crank Rocks.
Yeah.
Would have been super cool.
You ever need a place to crash? I live right next door. Yeah.
There's a big Airbnb, right? It's like 10, 15 minutes from Red Rocks.
Okay.
I forget what the little town's called, but
Lakewood.
Yeah, it's in Lakewood.
That's where I'm
at.
And
then one of my buddies stayed in it last year, anytime someone puts like an Airbnb or sends like, hey, Denver Airbnb, we're gonna go. That one always pops up. I was like,
yeah,
like a 3-story house. It's so cool.
Solid.
So cool.
Nice.
Hopefully get to.
Cool, man.
I don't know what brought that up, but
that's all right. Well, I look forward to your show tomorrow at Cervantes. I love that venue. Every time I play there, it's always a vibe, and
I'm super excited.
Great people. You're gonna have a good time. It'll be a good crowd for sure.
Awesome.
So, but yeah, dude, thanks for joining the podcast. Super glad to have you out.
Thank you.
Always fun nerding out with another fellow Ableton here. Okay. And yeah, Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you go check out Flozone's music. Follow him on the gram, everywhere else on the internet, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, man. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you didn't hate this episode, please leave a 5-star review. It would help me out a lot. Check back on Tuesdays for new episodes. If you want to be the first to get new episodes and new content, some new packs and downloads and things I'll be sending out, also upcoming events, then join the newsletter. Also, if you want to check out the brand new merch store with some exclusive items, go to abletonpodcast.com/merch. Check out the links in the show notes for all the info on this. Be sure to follow this guest for spending their time on this episode. Give them some love. Thanks again for listening to the podcast. Much love. I'll see you next time. Later.